Well, hello there, motherfuckers, and welcome to your SmackDown review. You know, people are saying that this was a good show. Wade Keller says it was a good show. Maybe I was, wrong with my first opinion. I thought it was pretty fucking lousy, but, apparently Wade Keller said it was good. Some other people are saying it's good. So, maybe we'll just, share a moment here, talk about the show. And, maybe we'll find that the show's really not that bad. So, let's get right to it. So, we started off with New Day as the 5-time tag champs. They're celebrating. King Booker. Booker T comes out in his King Booker persona tonight, New Day. I was never a big fan of King Booker. Not that he doesn't play the role well. But I remember back in 2006 when he debuted the gimmick, I was just like, it was a little bit too campy. It was a bit too cheesy for me. In retrospect, it's way better than any fucking thing we're getting today. But that's kind of like how everything is, basically. I would have taken anything from a few years ago compared to now. Everything has just increasingly gotten worse. But it's funny when actually King Booker was like the worst of SmackDown's problems back in the day. It was actually, decent. It's just I always preferred Booker T as himself. And he did, he did actually act as himself in the promo. So he knighted, Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston and gave them like little unique names. And then with Big E, he just kind of called him Big E. And Big E got mad. He says, you just did the Saxton on me. And I don't even know what the fuck that means, but I'm going to assume they buried Byron Saxton there by saying that, Booker T kind of just gave him a generic name instead of finding a creative name. I guess knocking him for his commentary. Well, there we go again, burying part of the product. We have, hey guys, we have shitty announcers. Let's just make fun of it, in the promo. It's like, I don't understand that. If they know that Byron Saxton sucks on commentary, and he does, then fucking get rid of him. Put someone else in the role. I've never understood this. Where is Mauro Ranallo? For people who follow me on Instagram, I don't watch NXT, but I was watching that this guy goes fucking insane on NXT. There's so much passion and fiery energy. That's a man who wants to be there. There's a man who deserves a fucking job. The guy is like getting up on the table and he's like, oh yeah, like, I'm like, my God, like the energy, the passion. I haven't seen somebody get into something so much since probably Don West from TNA. But he's better than Don West. And I think, he's more accurate than Don West, and, he's more refined than Don West, but Mauro Ranallo, this is a guy who could sell a pay-per-view. He's a guy who could get you to tune in next week. And he was on SmackDown. Shit happened with JBL, I guess. And, he also complained about the on-the-road schedule, which I don't really get because, doesn't NXT tape weekly as well? And the same thing with SmackDown. The announcers don't have to be there for a house show because there's no commentary because it's not televised. So I am not really seeing why Mauro Ranallo is not on SmackDown. And what's the name of the lead announcer again? I always fucking forget his name. Why is he there and Mauro Ranallo is not? So after this, Booker T does the tell me you didn't just say that. And they just have a tag match. It was cool to see King Booker. I miss the guy on commentary. I really do. I would give anything to have a commentary team of, at least on Raw, if you got to have Michael Cole there, the coach and Booker T. Why not? Get the guys out there and everything. Two personas that are way more interesting than fucking Corey Graves. So they have a match, and it's the Bar defeating Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson and the Cologne. So basically, tag teams that have been losing for months. The Bar hasn't been there for, they were there a few weeks ago, but they returned after like 2 months of inactivity, doing nothing on SmackDown. And what is up with that? It's like they have no tag teams, but they won't even use the ones that they got. And the Colognes, I don't know if they were injured, they just weren't utilized on TV. And that's the thing. You wouldn't know unless you read the dirt sheets if somebody was injured or not. If they don't appear, you'll just have to assume that they're either not being used or they're injured. But then you get guys like Zack Ryder that haven't been in a match. He appeared in a backstage segment a few weeks ago with the Mojo Rawley thing on Raw. But, you would think that the guy was injured other than that. But he's not. And the same thing goes for Kurt Hawkins. He's got a 200-match losing streak. Well, most of those matches were not on Raw or SmackDown. So it's like we're hearing all this shit about people, and it's like the Colognes come out. There's no mention that they haven't been there. There's no mention that, the Colognes have, had some time to, regroup and rethink their strategy. No mention or anything like that from commentary. And, it's just like, oh, here they are. They're here. Okay? It's like, well, all these teams haven't, been in the tag title scene for a while. And was this a number one contenders match? Or was it not? Because I think it was. The Bar won, and they rightfully should, because the other tag teams, they've already... Primo and Epico, not that they're bad talents or anything, but they've done everything under the sun with these guys. They've been tourist agents. They've been fucking matadors. They've done everything they can with these guys. Now it's time to just fucking step away. And I don't know. It's like, it's time to give up already with Primo and Epico. They're not over. They're not going to get over. There's no crowd response for them here. I say you just give the Bar the tag titles. Break New Day the fuck up already. I am getting so... even with the spinneroonie in the middle of the ring where, Big E was trying to go... I didn't even laugh. I'm just so fucking sick and tired of seeing New Day. I can't even laugh at the funny parts. Honestly. And that's when you know that there's a problem. When I'm not laughing and Booker T's involved, it's just like... It just disgusts me to no end. It's like, what the fuck are they even doing with this team? It's annoying. It's cliche. They're doing the same thing over and over again with these guys, and they're getting nowhere fast. They're not accomplishing anything. 5 tag title. Okay, it's like, all right, great. You also look at it like they've also won those 5 tag titles in the span of 3 years, less than 3 years. So wow, great accomplishment, losing the title 4 times already. That's how I look at it. Then you had Jeff Hardy and Randy Orton cutting a promo on each other. Jeff Hardy, had really cool face paint with RKO painted down the side of his face to play mind games with Orton. And, the funny thing is with Orton, even though he's great with promos, he did another cliche right here. He said, you think I'm going to get in that ring on your terms? I am, just to quote more wrestlers, I am so sick and tired of this. I'm so sick and tired, coward. Daniel Bryan already said it 1,000 fucking times last week. Not on my, we're going to do this on my terms, not on your terms. It's just enough already with the fucking cliches. There are certain words, phrases that I want to see gone for a few years. That's how badly they've been misused. Not misused, but overused. To the point where I'm getting fucking sick and tired. And I want to see them do promos on my terms. Which means not using the same fucking language week after week, sometimes multiple times throughout the fucking show. Dear fucking God. How many times are they going to use the same fucking language in a promo? There's so many other words in the English language. Then Jeff Hardy says that, he's going to take him to hell in the cell. And I'm looking forward to that match. That's 2 veterans in the ring. And I just can't believe that Jeff Hardy has not been in a Hell in the Cell match. He's been a multiple-time world champion, but he has not been in that match, and that's shocking. Billie Kay defeated Naomi, and I'm going to talk about this match right here in depth. So get ready for this. So, Okay, so they start off the promo with Billie Kay and Peyton Royce coming down to the ring. They don't even get a crowd response or anything. The crowd is just, you know, out of it from the promo, which the voices. They talk about the Raptors. Then they just get drowned out by the Toronto crowd. They just keep chanting, "Let's go Raptors," and they can't even fucking speak because they're being so loud. It's not even heel heat. It's just, you know, they're not good. And I'm going to talk. So the promo's annoying. It's the voices. You know, you might say, okay, the shrill voice is supposed to be the thing that gets it over. But the way how they just talk, it sounds so manufactured. And the way how they're taking turns when they talk, it just does not sound good. It's not coming across good on TV. And apparently it's not coming across great in the arena, too, to the live crowds. So let's talk about their work rate. Oh, Brad, you don't know how to wrestle. Okay, I don't know how to wrestle. Point taken. I don't. But if you're going to work on the grandest stage of them all, if you're going to work for the best wrestling company, the biggest wrestling company, you know, in the world, the WWE, you should probably know how to wrestle a match. And if you're not going to be able to wrestle a match that way, you should be able to cut a good promo. They don't know how to do that. They might as well look the part. They're hot, but then again, they don't exactly look like big stars like Charlotte or Nikki Bella or Carmela or even Asuka. Even gonna put Asuka over there for the look, you know. So at least be good workers, right? Well, first let's get to this point. During the match, Billie Kay rips out a chunk of Naomi's hair when like her nails get caught up in her hair. I thought that this was maybe supposed to be a funny spot or something until a big fucking chunk of Naomi's hair goes flying up in the air. So she pulls out part of her weave. I mean, be careful or some shit like that. I mean, like, it's not like she's Luna Vachon or something. She's trying to make the other girl ugly. That's not her gimmick. She just was stupid and got her fucking hand caught in her hair. And the madness doesn't stop there, because then there's another spot where Billie Kay kind of holds her around the waist, pushes her into the ropes, and then Naomi kind of awkwardly stops. Are we waiting for something here? Is maybe something supposed to happen at this part of the match? You know, okay, so she awkwardly waits. Billie Kay kind of awkwardly pushes her. Then finally, after like 10-15 seconds of awkwardness, Peyton Royce comes up onto the apron, hits a kick that's like a mile away from the fucking top of Naomi's head, and Naomi falls back, sells it, and Billie Kay gets the win. So Billie Kay gets the win in a short little fucking match. Naomi, who I already put over, they should have never taken the title off of her. Remember when they embarrassed her? She lost to Natalya, who's not even over. You know, God bless her father passing away, but she's not even over. They gave her the title. They made Naomi cry. You know, it's just, guys, I don't know. Like, this looked so fucking bad. And the fact that she would lose this match, Naomi would lose it. She could have been a big top baby face with the entrance and everything. She's got natural athletic ability, one of the most athletic girls on the roster, and just wow here. What the fuck was that supposed to be? I mean, the agents, I hope to fucking God that when they got backstage they got ripped apart for that. They ripped out the girl's hair. That she went into the ropes, 15 awkward seconds of nothing. The timing was way off. I mean, I don't know how to wrestle, but for fuck's sake, I don't work for the WWE. They do. This was beyond abysmal. This was beyond bad. This was fucking horrendous. Dear Lord, like, oh my God, what the fuck was that even supposed to be? I think this might have been like the worst. It was a short match, but this might have been the worst match I've seen all year. I mean, this was even worse than than Braun Strowman tag teaming with a fucking kid, in my opinion. Then we had Daniel Bryan cutting a promo with his wife. And, Brie Bella also sounded good on the mic. Bryan got a little bit campy when he was saying, his wife was, a red hot baby making, machine or whatever, a hot mama. And, because Bryan's charming and, likable. And his, the thing is, when he smiles, he comes across as a genuine baby face that doesn't try too hard. So, it's like, I give him a pass, and it was entertaining and it was funny, coming from Bryan. But I can you imagine if someone like Seth Rollins were to say that exact line? She's a red hot baby making mama. Could you imagine that shit? It would not go over as well. Well, I don't know. The crowd pops for Rollins, so maybe it would. But it wouldn't go over well with me. We could at least say that. So then this brings out Cien Almas and Zelina Vega, and Vega starts cutting a promo, and she starts, saying like Cien Almas's accolades, and wow. So he put Sin Cara on the shelf, who hadn't wrestled a match in 2 years prior. The last time he wrestled a match was in that weird feud with Baron Corbin. And man, Zelina Vega, she's got to be one of the tiniest wrestlers that's not a midget. Like, that's not a Hornswoggle or an El Torito. Now, before people start hammering me here, and look, I already know I'm 5'5". I'm, violently under height for a male. But, my mom is like around the same size as Zelina Vega. I think she might even be tinier than her. My mom's driver's license actually says that she's 4'8.5". So I ended up this height, because luckily I'm not her height, because there's tall people on my mom's side. We've got some big, 6+ footers on her side, on the male side. And my dad's side's like average height. So, it kind of evens out, and I just get this, I'm 5'5", so there you go. But man, she is fucking tiny as fuck. And it really showed here, like when she's standing with Bryan, who's, not that tall to begin with. And I'm like, wow, she's fucking small. So this leads to a match, and the live crowd. I know this is like supposed to be Bizarro World, as Jerry the King Lawler would call it, but Almas looked like he was about to beat Bryan, and the crowd was cheering him on. Like, they were just cheering Bryan a few moments ago, but fuck, I mean, like, what's up with the fucking crowd? They want Almas to win. This is why, like, even when they used to go to Canada, things used to, at least be a bit more streamlined. Almas is getting, cheered for. I mean, it's not even like the guy's Canadian or anything like that. Miz came out, he interfered, so, it was good. They protected both wrestlers. Maurice got in the ring, DDT'd Brie Bella, as the Miz made Daniel Bryan watch while he had him in the yes lock. So, that was alright. They didn't really tell much of a story with Bryan or Miz tonight. Like, why he's having a big, long match with Almas is beyond me. It shouldn't even be a matter of having to worry if Bryan is going to lose to Almas. It just shouldn't be. Almas shouldn't even be at this level yet of dealing with Daniel Bryan. And, like, he should be winning matches ending in disqualification with him. Like, this guy, they should be, like, having a strong performance for him. It's been a very weird career so far on the main roster for Almas. It's like they can't decide what to do with him. They've already had him lose a few big matches to big stars, and usually what they try to do is, he had a good match with he had a good match with somebody, so that that's what was it with AJ Styles? Oh yeah, he had a good match with AJ. That's so he's over. I beg to differ, because he might have been getting a good crowd response in Toronto, but everywhere else he doesn't get a crowd response at all. Then you had Samoa Joe and AJ Styles, and another cliche here from Joe. AJ, Didn't Chris Jericho do that to AJ as well during their feud 2 years ago? It's just cliche after cliche. So Samoa Joe calls up on the phone to Wendy, to AJ Styles' wife, and he's talking like more to the camera than he's talking on the phone. Who talks like this? Like if I was talking on the phone, would I be looking at you? Probably not. I'd be more looking down at the phone. Like it's just not natural. Also, we're talking about going to a barbecue instead of showing it. And I know they're trying to tell a story. Maybe you're going to want to tune in next week. And maybe, I don't know, maybe next week, like, AJ will show up, looking for Joe at his house, looking in the backyard to see if Samoa Joe's there for the family barbecue. Maybe Joe might blindside him with a hamburger. He'd probably eat the hamburger before hitting anybody with it. Maybe, he could toss the potato salad into AJ's eyes and, it burns, and maybe he could hit maybe he could hit him with the barbecue grill and then, put him into coquina clutch. I don't know. All I'm saying is just, it's a lot of talk during this promo with not enough to see. He should have just showed up at the house this week. That would have been awesome. At least just cut the promo in front of AJ's house. Instead of like, we'll tune in next week to see if I go to the barbecue. Like, we already established that the previous week. This week would have been perfect and I would have put it over, but they didn't do it. So I ain't putting nothing over. Then in the main event, it was Charlotte defeating Carmela. And I gotta say, Carmela did one of the best jobs selling the figure eight, finisher of Charlotte. She was screaming. She looked like she was in real pain. Carmela is excellent. I really hope that they don't send her down the ranks because, she lost the belt. Because as we all know, look at Sasha Banks. After somebody loses a title, they have no fucking idea what to do with them. So, but I wouldn't be surprised if that happens to her. They're going to just kind of not know what to do with Sasha. They're going to be like, not Sasha in this case, with Carmela. She might end up in the same boat as Sasha. Maybe even on the lower tier, unfortunately. This brought out Becky Lynch. She, beats up Charlotte. Then she cuts a promo and she says she's going to rightfully take her title at Hell in a Cell. Many people are saying that Becky Lynch is bringing forth Stone Cold vibes. And I'm just like, what? Huh? Like, people are calling her Stone Cold Becky Lynch. Guys, stop! Just fucking stop that shit already. Now, I think it's cool that Becky is heel for like the first time in her career, unless she was heel in NXT. I don't think that she was. But here's the thing. The reason why they call her Stone Cold Becky Lynch is because the crowd likes Becky this way. They're cheering her. Okay. I think you need to, first of all, get away from these crowds, because let's remember, guys, where have we been for the past 2 weeks? We were in Brooklyn, and then we were in Toronto. Prior to Becky turning heel, no one gave a fuck about Becky Lynch. Remember before Charlotte's return, Becky was doing that rallying speech. She was doing the whole Rocky routine. I'm going to do it. I'm going to come, up from the ranks, and I'm going to win the title I haven't had in 2 years. Okay, so no one made a peep in the crowd. So now you might be saying, well, because Becky turned heel, now everybody's on her side. It's been Brooklyn and Toronto. Those are not exactly an accurate consensus for anyone who's popular. They were cheering Almas tonight. So, no, I'm sorry, but you guys are wrong. She's not over in the same way as Stone Cold. I mean, even that crowd response is not even as strong as Stone Cold. I mean, people like these people, the analysis is here on YouTube and PW Torch and everything, the Wade Kellers and, you know, even some other people here on YouTube. I'm just like, what? Like, Stone Cold, of all the comparisons you can make. And plus, there have been heels that have been cheered before. Braun Strowman, for example, doesn't he get cheered even though he's a heel? You know, or he was a heel in the past, well, now he turned heel again. So, you know, I'm not really understanding exactly what it is that people are trying to get at here. That she's like a heel that's getting cheered. And they think that she's going to be some type of, like, you know, shades of gray type of thing, like Stone Cold. I'm just saying, you guys are just jumping the gun. They're only 2 weeks into this, and we haven't exactly had accurate crowd consensus to see how people are responding to her. And we don't even know. You know, people say, oh, the crowd, the crowd. We're talking about fucking 14,000, 15,000 people when there's millions of people watching at home. This is why I never understand why people say what they say when they talk about how people are reacting. The ratings are one indication. The crowd response is another. It might be something to be taken into consideration, but we've been in Brooklyn and Toronto. We've been in Bizarro World and Brooklyn, which is a smarky crowd. An annoying hipster crowd. So, I don't know. I'm just saying, I think that you guys are being stupid when you're calling her Stone Cold Becky Lynch. I think that to call her Stone Cold, do you realize what you're saying there? You're comparing her to one of the best of all time. You know, Becky Lynch is good. I like her. She's an attractive girl. She's good enough in the ring. She's decent on the mic. I like her as a heel. But to compare her to Stone Cold Steve Austin of all things, like not even comparing her to a heel Trish Stratus or a heel Lita, but comparing her to a heel Stone Cold of all things. I mean, like, Carmela is charismatic, and I put her over for it all the time. But do I compare her to a Rock? No. And you know why? Because I'm not a fucking idiot. I don't know. You know, guys, I don't know what to tell you. I didn't enjoy this SmackDown. It was, like, all over the place. I guess there was some parts that you could say were okay. Like, it was cool to see Booker T, but I'm just so goddamn sick of New Day already. You know, and just, you know, there was some okay parts, but there's nothing here to get excited about or call a good show. So, sorry. Didn't like it. Next. I mean, you know, really. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Click the bell so you get notifications when I post my new videos up. And, yeah, watch my other videos right here. You know, the ones being recommended to you. Check out the other videos on the channel as well. And this has been your YWC Champ, and I'm signing out.